Hi there. The Met Office have issued a rare red warning for parts of Angus and Aberdeenshire for later this week because of the risk that heavy and persistent rainfall will cause widespread and severe flooding. This is the area covered by the red warning. There are other yellow and amber warnings in force across much of Scotland and elsewhere across the UK. But it's in this area in particular where there is the risk during Thursday and Friday of 150 to 200 millimetres in places and as much as 250 millimetres in some of the wetter spots. This would be a truly exceptional amount of rainfall for this part of Scotland, and falling in just a couple of days would likely lead to widespread and severe flooding. So if you're in this area where there is currently a red warning in force, do take action now to protect yourselves and others. Now, for the rest of Wednesday, it's dry for much of Scotland, northern and eastern England. It's outbreaks of rain across Wales and southern England, some heavy downpours as the rain moves up from the south, circulating around an area of low pressure which the Met Office have named Storm Babet because of those expected impacts to the northeast of the UK later this week. But for Wednesday itself, it's really the wet and windy weather is affecting southern and southwestern parts, with Northern Ireland, Scotland, much of northern and eastern England seeing some brightness, although a strengthening breeze. That's going to make it feel on the cold side, I think, towards the north and the northeast, but this storm is bringing milder air with it, so 15 or 16 Celsius still manageable despite the wet and windy conditions in the far south. Now, the rain moves north overnight, pushing into the Midlands, eventually northern England, Northern Ireland as well, where it will turn heavy and persistent. And in Northern Ireland by the middle part of Friday, we're expecting 30 to 50 millimetres widely, perhaps a bit more over eastern hills, and that could cause some disruption as well. But by the end of the night, the wettest weather is across northern England into southern Scotland, still staying clear of the north of Scotland, although a strengthening wind here with some lively gusts by the end of the night. And it's going to be breezy across the rest of the UK, with cloud and outbreaks of rain continuing across the southern half of the country. All of that means that it's not going to be a cold night. Temperatures staying in the teens in the south, 10 or 11 Celsius further north. But it is going to be an unpleasant start to Thursday. And it's during Thursday that the weather really deteriorates across Scotland, with the heavy and persistent rain moving north. And the persistence of this strong southeasterly wind, an unusual direction for Scotland, it has to be said, will lead to the persistence of heavy rainfall, especially across eastern parts of Scotland and northeast England. Further south, across the rest of England and Wales, the rain replaced by sunny spells and scattered showers. These showers will be heavy and in some places fairly prolonged. But for Northern Ireland, it does turn brighter and a little drier into the afternoon. Wherever you are, it's not going to be particularly pleasant because of the wind and the rain, but temperatures a little above average for the time of year. We're looking at 18 or 19 in the south, 12 to 13 for Scotland, with that wind strengthening through the day and the risk in places of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Amber warning for wind for eastern parts of Scotland, that wind driving the rain in, exacerbating the impacts from the wet weather. And that rain really accumulating across eastern parts of Scotland in particular, as well as northeast England during Thursday and Friday. As I mentioned, more than 100 millimetres, more than 150 millimetres widely, as much as 2 to 250 millimetres in some of the wetter spots for Angus and Aberdeenshire. And this shows Friday's weather. As you can see, the brighter colours are remaining there across eastern Scotland, parts of northeast England as well. And that means that that rain will continue to build up during Friday and into the start of the weekend, with the significant risk of river flooding. Meanwhile, another bout of wet weather potentially affecting central and southeastern parts of England, pushing into Wales and the southwest by the end of Friday afternoon. So all in all, a very wet period coming up. Eastern Scotland not the only place affected by the risk of disruption from wet weather by the end of the week, but that is the area where we're expecting the highest totals and the biggest impacts. Either way, it's going to be very blustery on Friday. The brightest skies will be further west, but even here there'll be some heavy showers. So yes, if you're in the red affected area, do take action now to protect yourselves and others. And elsewhere, stay up to date with Met Office forecasts and warnings.